You're watching Brazos Valley This Morning on KBTX News 3.
Of that situation there at Sanderson Farms.
All right, yeah, thank you, Rusty. So Rusty has some questions around Sanderson Farms, and the first part of his question is about how many of these cases are active. And I need to look that up specifically to give you that, but what I could ballpark that for you, Rusty, and based the way I would ballpark that is based on how many cases we've seen out of Sanderson Farms over the past week. All of those cases I would consider active. And that number is easily 10, if not 15. And again, that's a ballpark, just as we talk about this every day. So I'd have to add those up in my head is what I'm doing. But clearly it's a concern. It's a concern, and I have to say this. We talk with these folks, our contact tracers do. One of them had said, I don't know how I got it at work. At work, we're wearing masks and we've got hand hygiene every we're staying 6 feet apart and we're doing all of this. And our contact tracers have to remind that it might not be at work where you get it. It might be outside work where you brought it in. And so that's how complex this is. And we have to remember that Sanderson Farms, who's been very cooperative with this, and they're very interested in this, and they have a nationwide team that looks at this. And they've also been in touch with the state. We have been in touch with the state about the most appropriate way to deal with this moving forward, because no doubt about it, meat processing plants are high priority for the state, for the governor's office federally. And we know this from past experience. And so appropriately, it is a concern of ours. It's a concern of Sanderson Farms and of the state as well. Which brings us to the second question you have about a state strike team. That is certainly on the table because the state is interested in this. The state has already deployed similar teams to long-term care facilities, which are similarly prioritized here. So there's nothing off the table here. We've been in touch with the state about that. There is not a strike team that is set up or designated right now for Sanderson Farms. I am not aware of one that is deployable for this, but I would not. I'll put it this way, I would be very surprised if they haven't talked about that or are talking about something of that nature, as they've clearly already strategized that for other high-risk facilities and institutions. And your last question about cases in the community, and that's exactly the concern, Rusty, is that that folks could be getting in the community, they could come, and let's just say that at Sanderson Farms we're doing a good job and we've got the hand hygiene and everyone's wearing masks and we've got the social distancing, so there's not much that's happening at work. But then what